And what's going on, Overemployment Army? Today we're going to be talking about a very special video, special topic. Will AI layoffs kill overemployment? And before we jump into that, feel free to book a one-on-one call with me in the pinned comment section below, where I help you become overemployed and kind of give you a custom tailored plan on how to become overemployed. So yeah, let's jump right into the video. So how will AI layoffs make working two jobs impossible? So that's the question on everyone's mind right now. So overemployment, as you know, is juggling multiple full-time remote roles at different companies remotely. This exploded during the pandemic about 5 years ago. According to a July 2025 report, 1 in 20 US workers now hold more than one full-time job. Gen Z leads the pack here. 12% of them are overemployed, and 17% of Gen Z men admit to working multiple jobs. Most rely on AI tools to handle tasks and avoid detection. So if AI is now triggering mass layoffs, does that spell the end of overemployment? Let's kind of dig in and impact this whole thing here. So the layoff wave, right? So first, the layoffs are obviously real. In 2025 alone, tech companies conducted 342 layoff events that eliminated roughly 78,000 jobs. Microsoft itself cut 6,000 positions in May. IBM let go of 8,000 HR employees. Meta trimmed around 5% of its whole workforce. A World Economic Forum survey found that 41% of employers plan to reduce staff within 5 years because of artificial intelligence, and some aren't waiting. Crunchbase's tracker shows more than 4,500 US tech workers were laid off in a single week in July 2025, while at least 96,000 tech workers lost jobs in 2024 and 191,000 in 2023. Executives call this the workforce optimization, but on the ground it feels like AI is just basically eating jobs here. So why is this happening? AI is getting remarkably good, obviously we know that, at tasks once reserved for humans. The Washington Post notes that IBM has already replaced hundreds of human resource workers with AI systems, and at Microsoft and Google, AI now writes more than 1/4 of the code itself. By the end of 2024, Anthropic's research showed that AI was already automating or augmenting about 25% of day-to-day tasks across all jobs. In computer and math occupations, more than half of tasks can be automated or augmented, and AI can complete nearly 80% of coding tasks without human input. So no wonder high entry-level software engineers are nervous right now. Macroeconomic forecasts paint an even starker picture here. So a McKinsey report projects that by 2030, 30% of current US jobs could be automated. Goldman Sachs warns that 300 million jobs could be lost worldwide. PwC, McKinsey, and the World Economic Forum estimate that up to 60% of jobs will require significant adaptation as AI spreads. Routine work, data entry, scheduling, customer service is already being eaten by chatbots, robotic process automation. So even creative fields aren't safe, right? So a Pew Research Center reports that 30% of media jobs could be automated by 2035. So the paradox here is that overemployment uses AI too. So here's the twist. The same technology fueling these layoffs is also enabling overemployment. So the AI Resume Builder survey found that most people holding multiple full-time jobs work fewer than 50 hours total each week. And how is that possible? They offload routine tasks onto AI tool, summarizing documents, responding to emails, organizing calendars, and generating reports. And when asked why they only took on two jobs, 28% cited fear of layoffs and fear of AI replacing them. Overemployment isn't just a quick money grab. For many, it's an insurance policy against a volatile job market. Remote work still makes this possible. 3/4 of overemployed respondents said that they work at least one remote role. With a laptop and good internet, you can be in two stand-ups at once. If your schedules don't collide, Gen Z is particularly adept at this because they grew up with technology and are as squeamish about using AI to enhance productivity. So, will AI kill overemployment? That's the main question here. So, not in the way you might think. AI is clearly shrinking the total number of entry-level and routine roles, especially in tech and administrative fields. Fewer openings means the pool of easy-to-stack remote jobs is likely to shrink. Companies burned by poly workers are ramping up surveillance and adding clauses that forbid outside employment. Fortune reports that bosses are catching on as some workers brag about juggling 5 jobs for $3,000 a day. But AI also lowers the workload of remaining jobs. When software writes half your code or summarizes your meeting notes, you suddenly have spare capacity. If you're disciplined, you could use that capacity to run a second role Overemployment will likely evolve. Instead of stacking two full-time coding roles, you might combine a part-time AI-augmented programming gig with consulting or creative work that isn't easily automated. Roles that require human judgment, empathy, and strategy, like let's say teaching, nursing, leadership, and complex problem solving, are far less automatable. These are the ones that are savvy overemployed workers that are usually going to target here. So, how do you adapt to this, right? So, if you're already overemployed or thinking about it, adaptation is non negotiable. So, here are three brute force tips. Number one, choose AI resilient roles. Look for jobs where tasks aren't purely repetitive. Healthcare, education, creative strategy, and high level management are less susceptible to full automation. Avoid roles that revolve around data entry or basic copywriting unless you're prepared for them to vanish. Use AI to augment, not replace you. Lean on AI to speed up mundane tasks, drafting emails, summarizing meetings, but double check its output. So, Anthropic's research shows that augmentation can increase wages for experienced workers, even as automation depresses wages for others. And last but not least, you want to be transparent and legal. So, most employment contracts require disclosure of outside work to avoid conflicts. So, don't jeopardize both jobs by hiding. Instead, be negotiable, seek flexible arrangements, or seek fractional roles designed for part time commitment. So, some practical tips for overemployed workers. Obviously, you want to schedule carefully to avoid conflicts. So, coordinate your calendars precisely to prevent overlapping meetings, deadlines, ensuring commitments are met without burnout or even detection risks. And you have to be very, very disciplined here. So, you want to maintain a high discipline. Strong self discipline and focus are essential to staying organized, managing your priorities, and consistently meeting quality standards in multiple roles. So, what's the role of remote work in just overemployment today, right? So, remote work enables multiple job management. So, three-quarters of overemployment workers hold at least one remote job, allowing them to juggle multiple full-time jobs by leveraging flexible schedules and breaking geographical barriers. And flexibility supports overlapping commitments. So, remote work flexibility allows asynchronous tasks and AI tools to help workers manage overlapping jobs efficiently, keeping the total work hours under 50 per week while maintaining performance. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.